Hello, 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 successful souls. Hi, everybody. This is a special interview of the Inner Feminine Beast interviews. Today, I'm super excited to introduce you to a new woman in my life who has already inspired me so much. I vibe with her completely. I feel like I found my new biffle. Like she's everything. So I'm excited to be bringing her onto the show today. We're going to talk about something that she and I are both extremely, extremely passionate about. What we're going to talk about today is truth. It's really something that we are both in alignment with. And I would love for you to come and hang out with us because this is definitely going to be an open conversation. This is not scripted. This is a coffee chat. And it's really wonderful because I meet with this lovely lady every other Friday and we have these deep conversations. And I wanted to, with my people here inside the Spiritual Success Sorority, again, if you're listening to this on the podcast, I would love to invite you into the Spiritual Success Sorority Facebook group where you can see these kind of interviews live and see them before anybody else. So if you're here, we can see the comments and everything. Make sure you're commenting. We would love to see if you're vibing with this, if this resonates with you. But without any further ado, I'd love to introduce you to my amazing friend, Miss Ayo.
Woo, woo. What an intro. Woo, woo.
Well, let me actually tell everybody a little bit more about you. So Ayo is not only one of the most powerful, feminine, and amazing women that I've met, but she's has a seven-figure marketing agency that she owns with her partner, Carol. Just so you know, I personally work with her and use her for my own business, and I highly recommend her. The level of support is above and beyond. So I definitely recommend her for that. She's the owner and co-founder of 3 businesses, the Empire and Empress Marketing. And then also you just started a fitness as well. Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Overachiever. Right
Yes.
here.
I know I like you. That's so funny. So we have people joining us now. People are saying, hey, yo.
Hey,
I think
hey.
a lot of the members in our group already are following you, noticing you. And we're just super happy to have you here. So.
It's such a pleasure to be here and share this amazing space. And I'm super excited for this conversation because we are about to blow your mind and your panties as well. So just get ready for this. This is going to be very special, very raw, and very authentic and
Yes.
real.
Yeah. So, it's actually, I would love to start with this because this is really important. Today, we're going to be talking about embracing femininity as a powerful woman. And so, one of the things that first came up is actually a question that came from one of my members inside my business consulting coaching, the VIP Inner Circle. And one of my clients was like, Cynthia, I'm just blown away by the power proximity that you have, the circle that you have, the guests that you get on the show, but also the ladies that I know you're hanging out with or having these chats with. How do you meet these powerful women? Like, how is it happening? And I thought of you and I was like, let me see, how did I connect with Ayo? Literally, Ayo hearted one of my stories.
Yeah.
I reached out to her. I sent her a voice message because I've been watching her. I've been looking at her. I know she loves to travel. I can see the level of, impact she's making in her business. I just, felt the calling and I reached out and I said, hi, I see you. I acknowledge you. I think you're amazing. I think it'd be awesome to connect. So being a woman in my power, I acknowledged her being her power and we had a connection call. One thing led to the next. I'm now doing business with her. We introduced each other to several things. And what I love more than anything is that this girl really takes self-discipline and self-education to the next level. So I was really flattered when Ayo introduced the idea of kind of being accountability partners with each other when it comes to reading. And just so you know, right now we are reading the book Pussy. I want to let you know, this is by Regina. What's Regina's last name?
That's a good question, eh? I don't know. I always call her Mama Regina, Mama Gina. That's
Mama
how
Gina.
she's famous. Yeah, Mama
Yes.
Gina. She's the mother of all goddesses.
Yes. If the title of that book, again, Pussy, if that offends you, then I highly, highly suggest that you read that book. Anything that makes you uncomfortable is your GPS system to make you really want to involve it more. But also, if that offends you, you definitely want to hang out for today's show because this is going to help you to have some eye-opening moments. But, yeah, so that's how easy it is to connect with other women. And again, I think it's important. So one of the things you and I were chatting about that I just thought was so beautiful is the fact that we recognize where we come from. We have a lot of clarity on where it is we want to go, but we also notice there's a process to it all. And in womanhood, there's almost like this initiation where you can feel yourself leveling up. And I would love for you to dig deep and kind of share a little bit about the idea that you were saying about your process and where you're at, going from the
Hmm.
level of like a warrior goddess
Hmm.
into the initiation of being an empress. I just thought it was so
Yes.
beautiful what you shared in our conversation. I want the world to hear it.
Thank you so much. First, I quickly want to touch upon the fact that how we connected. And for me, it was such a beautiful process of, you said recognition. And I think that is exactly what happened there. And that is what I want to call all our sisters to do, is to really step into the sisterhood and forget about the sisterhood wound and past trauma with other women, the witch wound and all these things that really stop us from our vital power of coming together, working together, and really nurturing our energy and our power, because this is where we are really strong. It's actually a myth that women, when they come together, they create all these fighting and all that. This is a myth. This is not true. Then the second thing I want to say, it's so funny that you bring this, because I had a post a couple of days ago saying that people stop being afraid of people reaching out on Facebook thinking they will pitch you. Some people are here to become your business partners, your best friends, and your lovers. And God knows what can come out of that. I met my business partner, Carol, on Facebook, my other two business partners that I'm now partnering up in the other businesses, the love of my life, all the amazing friends, you as well. So if it wasn't for Facebook, really, so we should be so open. And I think the magic between me and you happened exactly because this rawness and openness, and really two alpha women seeing each other, and instead of being intimidated, they were opened.
Yeah.
Okay, because we knew what we bring to the table. And now, in terms of the conversation with the two archetypes, so I strongly believe we evolve all the time, and everything that happens to us happens for us, just to mold us and expand us, right? So
So,
everything, there was an amazing quote the other day, was that whenever you're going through things, don't forget that this is when growth happens.
yeah.
Okay, so for me it was like, wow, I'm still winning even when I think I'm not really winning, because we all know that strong alpha women, they're very like, okay, I need to be the best, I need to be overachieving. But what I wanted to discuss with you the last time was exactly that. I have been going through this warrior goddess stage of my life when it was really about showing up, digging the root in front of me, like really digging, because when you start from scratch, and this is basically where I started, I never had the support of a father. My father passed away when I was a child. I
Mm.
loved him, but no support there. Coming from, I'm originally a Bulgarian, so I had to start from there and travel the entire world. So you really have to be a warrior goddess on the front line. And that archetype takes a lot of energy, a lot of strength, kind of like masculinity as well. So you really need to be in action. You need to be in a power mode. You need to be all the time doing. And at one point, and it's great for business when you start, right? It's fantastic. As long as you can stay in that mode of warrior goddess, don't forget the goddess, never forget the existence of her, because she's going to come back after you, and that's not very good if you piss off the goddess. But now I feel like stepping into the Empress archetype, which is more of like sitting back, observing, using magic, power of like just sitting back, and things just working for me instead of me trying to make things work. They work for me. So stepping into this role of being in my highest power. And some people might say, well, a goddess is more than an empress. But if you think in the history, like we're talking about empresses like Nefertiti, I have her right here. She's a reminder to every morning when I wake up. By the way, I look at that and I'm like, don't forget that you are that. You are in charge. And even if you are not in charge, your higher self is in charge, right? So she knows what she's doing. And an empress trusts that. An empress also trusts the people around her, because she has an empire. We're not alone, okay? Warrior goddess is alone. An empress is not. She has her people around her. She has the support. A warrior goddess is most of the time alone. She is fighting. She is in defense mode sometimes, because she's like the alpha lioness, I will say. Whereas an empress is more of like this is another archetype. I was sharing this with my partner. I was saying I'm entering from alpha lioness right now into transitioning into a wild cat and a white swallow, which is more of like magic, not controlling, allowing things to come. And that's how I see it for both of us, actually.
Most certainly. Yeah. So, I mean, I just so many things here. I'm like, I know she's my person. I love it. First thing I'd love to say is you're so right. I'm glad that you said that about the Facebook in general. So, because my best friends, I'm telling you, like I have a lot of great friends in person, but some of the closest people some of the women that I'm closest to, I've never even met in real life. And it's not that we're here to pitch to each other or to anything. It's just we recognize, and it's the beauty of this little machine right here. You can connect with people all over the world. It's so beautiful. But I'm so honored. Like just this past weekend, I went to Sedona and I met some of my online girlfriends like in person. And it's like I've talked to them for over a year, but it's like, oh, here you are finally to meet you. But it's you are supported. You are so supported. Your people are out there. You just have to be vulnerable and willing to stand in your power and attract and magnetize them. And you know, so I think that's important to say that. But yeah, this is so beautiful. You also mentioned how some of the hardest times are the most important times, and we forget that. I've been through some difficult things, and I know you have as well. But those are the things that really define you and help you to move forward. Absolutely. This transition that you're talking about, going from being the goddess warrior to being the empress, is something I relate to so much. Now, here in the spiritual success sorority, we have a little bit of different terminology, but I constantly talk about inner feminine beast. You can see it, you know, wait, there you go, the little thing right here. It's the version of you that truly has the courage, there you go, the courage, the power, the strength, and the clarity to get it done. And it's not about being completely fearless. The second I become fearless, AO, you better virtually smack me, because that means I'm not getting out of my comfort zone. It means that I am just being complacent. It means that I'm not striving and moving towards this initiation. And I know a lot of the clients and the women that are attracted to me are women who are really in the goddess warrior position, or they're stepping into that. They go, go, go. They do. They are constantly putting themselves out of this comfort zone, and it's getting them to a certain point. But eventually, if you don't progress into the next level of that initiation, you feel stuck. It feels like you have a funnel over your head and it's just waiting for things to merge through. But by, you know, really going and moving into the unknown and stepping forward every day, it's not about being fearless. It's about being courageous and allowing that funnel to be open to receive. When you get into that higher empress state, as you're saying, this is where you realize that you're supported, because an empress, the people underneath her love her. She is sovereign and she is taking care of them, and she's leading by example. And you don't have to push when you're in that state. Things can magnetize to you, but it's not something that you just like learn or like have an instant shift. It's something you embody every single day, and you make it your life mission. And you do not quit on this vision. And you have to have that unshakable faith that we've talked a lot about together. And so, you know, what's interesting is I'm sure you can relate to this, but I don't mind saying it, but I can look at my past and I can remember being a shell of myself. I can remember being super intimidated by other powerful women. I can remember feeling threatened or immediately being on my guard and pointing fingers or coming up with excuses why they're better than I am. Well, they don't have two children like I do. Well, they're not, you know, they didn't go through this. They didn't experience these things that I have, you know, and I used to do that in defense. But I realized when I started looking at powerful women that through power proximity, you're able to plug into their power. And when you acknowledge them, you can say, this is an opportunity for me to see what they're doing, have them lead by example, versus me judging and being jealous or getting defensive. And so I think it's like, I would love to hear, you know, what it's like for you and what it means for you to be a powerful woman, because you certainly are a powerful woman. I can see how many women could be intimidated by you. My goodness, you used to be an executive for National Geographic. You have traveled all over the world. How many languages are you fluent in?
About 8.
Okay. Okay. This is what I'm talking about, right? It's so easy to be
Maybe
like,
not fluent, but I can definitely go around and rock 8 languages for sure.
and something that I want people to hear as well is you have a 7-figure business, but how quickly
Yeah,
did you get it there?
17 months.
Yeah, 17
But we
months.
don't count before that the work, because a lot of people say it took me 3 days to get there. Bitch, please. We know the story. Come on. Okay.
Yeah,
No.
that's important. Yes.
Um, I love everything that you said. I quickly wanted to touch upon something just to go back. I'm creating mental notes in my mind because you're just dropping gems like that, and I'm like, pichu, pichu, pichu. Okay, fantastic. I got them all. You said something about the Empress, which quote you said she's being taken care of. Yes, I want someone to write it down, because here's the major difference. We are like, you take care of people. We as women, we take care of everyone all the time. This is how we are. We saw it from our mothers. And in the book that we read, Pussy, I don't know if you're still there, so I might ruin this for you.
It's
Sorry about that. But she says our mothers did not teach us how to be that goddess, how to be that empress. They taught us what? How to be a mother, because that's what we saw. She was in that role. So we always take care of people, right? We always take care of our partners, our clients, if the ladies that have kids, our friends. We're nurturers. That is the feminine side of us. But who is taking care of us?
yes.
First of all, this is you, girl. Yes, look yourself in the mirror. This is the first person who needs to take care of you. So
Mhm.
being taken care of is you taking care of yourself first, putting the mask on yourself first. This is what immediately makes you into the Empress archetype, and also trusting higher self, trusting the universe, trusting the force. I also call it the force, and I know that you are a Jedi yourself,
Yes.
Cynthia. You're my fellow Jedi. And remind me to share with you my dream. I had a very beautiful dream yesterday of being a Jedi. It was amazing. So I just wanted to touch upon that being taken care of. Ladies, don't, whenever you feel alone, remember there's hands that are holding you, your ancestors, your grandmother, your grandmother's grandmother, your there's so many spirits and things around you that hold you. You just have to connect with them. When you connect with yourself, you connect with them. Okay, so I wanted to go there. And then in terms of your question was phenomenal. What is it to be a powerful woman? Maybe I should write a book about that, because there's so much to say.
I can see that coming.
here's here's yeah, this is a very major question. What is personally for me to stay in your power as a woman is not to give away your power, if that makes sense. So not to have power leakage. When do we have power leakage? First of all, when we react, instead of just like allowing things to come to you, you don't overreact, you don't snap, you see them and you say, well, that's interesting. Okay, like today with some situations of things getting blocked and rejected, we were like, huh, okay, well, that's interesting. And then you don't freak out and you can make the best decision. And also, you don't drain yourself. So, a powerful woman for me is a woman who stands in her poise, and she's so powerful that she's like, I'm not gonna allow the situation to control me. I also think that a powerful woman and a powerful human being in general, this is not only about women, this is also about men as well. If any brothers anywhere are watching us, it's also staying in your truth.
Yes.
That is very important. I find a person who doesn't matter what is happening in their life, they know how to say no, they know how to express their truth, and they know also how to stand behind what they think is important in their life, or stand behind someone else. So really being 100% authentic. And here's the thing, a lot of people don't do it based on fear. When we had a conversation right before the interview about not doing that, being intimidated, not speaking your truth, not being able to go and reach out to people. This is a trauma reflex.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're not able to do that, you need to look back within you. And last but not least, a powerful woman is a woman who really, ladies, adore. She adores herself.
Yes.
She looks at herself and she's like, damn girl, you're a fine ass woman. This is what she is. She looks at herself. She adores her everything from here all the way down. She looks at her curves and she's like, I fucking love you. Like, you are perfect. If you can master that, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's about mastering that. It's not something that comes easily because we've been conditioned in so many ways to not appreciate ourselves or our femininity. And it's about unconditionally loving yourself. And here's the thing, and I'm right with you. I fucking love myself. And I can stand
Yes.
on top of the roof and I can scream that because I know I consciously choose to be the best version of myself always. And there are times where I may slip because I am human, but in regards,
You're
I am
human? Since when are you a human?
hardly. But I mean, I feel like I do whatever I can to show up like her. I talk like her. I invest like her. I act like her. I love like her. I forgive like her. I am her.
Yeah.
And there's this thing that happens when certain women who are not at the point of loving themselves unconditionally yet, they have this psychology. It's funny. My mentor right now that I'm working with, Tara Grace, she is an expert when it comes to the psychology of women, especially in wealth. And she was talking about the fact, when women become intimidated, they very often become like victim mentality. And this like manipulation mode where it's like they start pointing fingers and they start like almost they think they're being attacked, but they're not. But to defend it, they attack out. And it's so sad because you want the best for other people, but at the same time, you can't want it more than them. So it's really an invitation. What I'd love this conversation to be is an invitation to consider who is it that is living the life that you want to live and to see them in their power as an invitation to rise up and meet them versus understand why you don't. Because I will tell you, I'm a woman who has achieved a lot of things. And my goodness, look at the things that we just covered. That's not even a portion of what you've gotten done. It's because we choose to.
Yeah.
We decide to. And we also look at our life like it's not just something to do, that we came here with a purpose. And if we really shine in our purpose, we're so supported. Because here's my thing, and it's really true. And I know you're about this too. I am not here to please the masses. I am not here to please the masses. Of course, when I was younger and not quite through my initiation, I wanted everybody to like me. But through my purpose and how I'm going to serve is through really challenging women to rise up. And a lot of women never will. But I will be setting the standard, holding the space. I'll be cheering them on, and I'll certainly be shaking them with love. But it's an invitation because I can see your inner feminine beast. I can see your I can see her, and I will speak to you like as she wants to be spoke to. And so that's what I really wanted people to hear today is that it's work. It's initiation. It's a process. But when you see somebody or you see anything that makes you uncomfortable, that means you're supposed to go towards it. You're supposed to bring that into your awareness and to work on that. Can you remember, and I think it's important for people to understand, like, no, we weren't just born this way, like we worked at it. What was your process like? Can you remember being a younger version of you and going through times of being intimidated, perhaps a particular story or example of you saw a lot of self-growth and it made you want to change and you had a big breakthrough?
Right. Okay. So again, a lot of bombs, and my notes are like, girl, you're testing my memory. You're testing my memory. Good thing that I'm a journalist. I can remember a lot of things. But I wanted to touch upon and go back, and I will come back here. When you said that, when you see a woman, or if you see anyone doing better in life, remember when we were reading Florence. And in her book, she says that whenever you see someone doing better, say the affirmation, what God is, she says God, but I say what God is has done for others, now she does for me and more. Just remember the energy, goosebumps, the energy you send out will come back to you. And this is very dangerous because a lot of people, and we actually work with energy expert Tina. You guys know her. I just want to give a big shout out to her. We work with her. So we noticed we had a moment when some things were like a little bit challenging in the business, and then she found out that some evil eyes were putting things like envy and things like that. Well, let me tell you something. The minute you feel these feelings towards a woman or a man having something you want but you don't have it yet, you send it back to yourself, and that is exactly the reason why it's not coming. A lot of people are like, why isn't it coming? Why? Because you, by seeing and being jealous and being like, oh, look at her, or judging, stop judging. To be an empress, to be that powerful woman, stop judging people, just love them unconditionally, embrace them. And I catch myself even sometimes being like, girl, this outfit, and then I'm like, no, it's you judging you right now. Okay, so I wanted to say that what really made a difference in my life. So I had two break points in my life. The first one was when my father passed away when I was 12, and that was really early in my life. And again, everything happens for you, because this was the moment when nothing made sense for me anymore. Like this matrix, this 3D world was, I couldn't explain stuff, why everything is happening, which opened me up to books like, and authors like Eckhart Tolle, and all these like deep into ego work, shadow work. And I was just 12. So I was already reading these things, getting into self-development, getting into all the laws of the universe, meditating, doing yoga. And that happened. I became a vegetarian also after that. So this moment truthfully got me, and it peeled off the layer that was conditioning by our society, and it took out the woman that is still developing every single day, this masterpiece created by the universe. You see, I'm talking about myself. By the way, this is how every single woman, that is my passion in life. I want every single woman to big up herself every day, to try a little bit more. So that was the first thing. Then the second thing that really opened my eyes actually happened this year, where I noticed, and that was in my personal life with my relationships with men, I saw certain patterns that were coming up and coming up and coming up. And I had a massive heartache. Like my heart was broken into thousands and thousands of pieces. Probably it was in ashes. So how do you get out of that? Like when you're a woman who truly loves, and you're a woman who has her shit going on and everything is perfect and your life is so complete and beautiful, but then this happens. So I had to sit down, and this is where you have to be very honest with you and not be a victim.
Right.
Never ever, whatever happens to you, it's your fucking responsibility that it happened to you.
Thank you.
Okay,
We always say
you
for
brought it,
you, not to you. Yes.
you brought it to yourself with every single damn step that you took in your life, every thought, every conversation, every word, every record that you play in your head. And you know, we're big on affirmations here. You just need to smash and demolish every untrue record that you have created in your head about your self-image and who you are. So I had to step up my P, and I had to be like, listen, what is still not resolved, so you attract the same scenarios. And here's the thing, you're going to attract the same lessons in different people. It's just going to be the different cover of the human being, but it's going to be the same lesson. So I had to sit down and go into deep shadow work,
Yeah.
deep energy work, because before that it was reading, it was like doing all these things, meditations, going on seminars, programs, and I was scratching the surface. So I had to go deep into inner child work, past life regressions, Akashic records, to really dig into the spot and face it. Face fears. And Florence, let's quote her again, is like when you feel fear coming, like the lion is in front of you, face it, because when you run, it will fucking chase you.
Yes.
So no victimhood. We are not victims. We are warriors, victorers. Whenever you step into the victimhood mode, you take away your power. How can you do that to yourself?
No.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing about unconditionally loving yourself, it's interesting. It's not
Mhm.
something that you learn, it's something that you remember. And
I love
it's
that.
all these things that you've been taught to that's not true about yourself. We tell ourselves stories, we make problems into problems that aren't problems. I really always say we're the director of our lives. We write the script, but we keep writing these really boring, mundane trauma of stories when we can be the leading ladies of our roles, and we can make the most beautiful, glamorous, amazing things. But it's people ask me all the time, and you probably get this too. How did you do it so fast? Like, how do you get results so quickly? How did you start your business and then get to here? And it's not a secret. It's not. It's self-accountability. It's self-discipline. And it's really, like you said, looking at everything not as a victim, but honing your power and saying everything is happening for me, by me, nothing's happening to me. So if there's something I don't like, it's my fucking job to change it. It's not anybody else's. I am in control. And that's so much freedom. Do you understand? That's so much freedom. I am in control. I can do this. And I'm supported by God, universe, angels, my guys. I got a whole team that takes care of me. And I think it's interesting too, is that I used to look at this and I realized I wanted to shift my perspective. And once I shifted my perspective, so many things changed. So if you read all the people that we love to read, Neville Goddard, and then Florence, and I noticed they would always say things like, the moment you, the second you, the day that you, I'm like, these things I want to manifest don't have to be these long stories. If I want to hyper see my results, if I want to condense time, it's just a decision. But the thing is, what they were just saying is, if you let go of resistance of fear, instead of saying letting go of resistance of fear, I don't need to focus on the things I don't want, this side of the spectrum. I thought of the opposite. And a lot of times when you ask people, what is the opposite of love? They're going to say hate, but that's not true. We know that the opposite of love is fear. For instance, if you hate somebody, you fear that perhaps they may not understand you, or that you fear that they may attack you, or even sad is on the side of fear because you're sad that you may never have this experience again, or you're sad you might lose somebody. It's through fear. So instead of focusing on not having fear, I decided to 1% every day, just love myself a little more. And I know that you don't have babies, right? But I do. And there's a lot of mamas here watching. But if I could love myself even a portion as much as I love my little ones, and like you said, my curves, I love my body. I love who I am. I love how I show up. I love the things that others may call flaws. I love myself too, because I am the child of God. Like I'm a goddess. Like I really feel that. And it's something you have to train yourself to unlearn and to remember. So I think that's so cool. But you know, one thing that I'd love to talk about, because I see your pics. Oh my goodness. I follow you.
Girl, we have a crush. It's a shared crush.
Yeah.
One thing that we announced it.
Yeah, exactly. One thing that we have in common that I think's pretty cool to talk about is your love for fitness. So as a woman who's lost 75 pounds, I do go to the gym like 6 days a week. For me, it's something really important, but I'd love to talk about your perspective first. What is fitness to you and why is it so important?
Well, it's always been a thing in my life. Ever since I have been a child, I've been very, very active. And right now, why is it still a priority, even though I'm so busy? And again, you see, we're not entering the victimhood. Oh, well, coronavirus is happening. I can't go in gym. Oh, I'm too busy to do that. It's again a priority. What's a priority for you? And it again comes from that massive self-love that I have for myself, because whenever I exercise, I feel good. And for me, and the book that we are reading right now, it's all about pleasure. So a lot of people say, no, people seek pleasure. People are pleasure-seeking creatures. Well, the truth is that is not the truth. We seek, I wouldn't call pleasure the pleasures that we seek, like going and eating something which is not healthy, going and drinking, going having all these things. I see pleasure in these things that really make us feel good, like long lasting. And exercising, feeling my body, pushing myself is something like that. There's also the other thing which I love about with sports. And here's the thing, I gym very heavy. I lift very heavy, like a fucking beast. That's what I do. And the reason why I do that is not only because I love big booties and I cannot lie, but it's also because when I'm in the gym, and you know that I'm also a salesperson, and with salespeople, having this confidence is number one thing. You have to be super confident to be good in sales. That's what it is. So when I lift heavy, when I look at myself in the mirror, and I do it very often, I have eye contact, and even though it's super heavy, I look at myself with love, and
Yeah.
I often say to myself, "You can do that. You can lift the heavy." And I transition that in life.
Yeah.
So whenever a situation is happening, I look at myself and I'm like, you can lift that. You can lift anything you want to lift because you are strong in every aspect. Same with yoga. When I do yoga and when I stretch, right? And I'm like, oh, this and that. I flow into that and I stay still and silent. And that is the same thing that comes into my life. Stillness, being silent, being gentle on yourself. And again, we circle around and we go back to self-love. Self-love. Health is self-love, because if
Yes.
you wanting to be healthy is self-love. Okay, let's be very real about that. Also, wealth is not only stacking cash and having
Yes.
whatever material stuff. What are you going to do with it in 20, 30 years time? And especially for the parents, you're an example for your child, but you also want to be as long as possible there for your kid.
Yeah.
And the truth is, when you invest in your health, um, you will be there for your family, you will be there for your clients. And let's be very honest, you need to keep the sanity. So sometimes you need to go out and, like a feminine beast, go out to get that masculinity out, because you don't want to be over masculine with your
Yes.
husband and be like, you gonna do this, go and punch it back, get it there. you know
Yeah, I constantly am journaling, automatic writing, and the other day it
hmm
came out this little saying. It was wealth is health and health is beauty. Like
mm,
that's where without your health you have nothing. And
yeah.
yeah, so for me, just the fitness is so important.
mm,
So many different levels. First
hmm
of all, how you do one thing, I really believe is how you do everything. I really
exactly.
believe that. If
Yeah.
I want to be successful in my business, I need to be
hmm
successful in my personal relationships. I need to be
yeah.
successful in hitting my personal goals. I need to be successful
hmm
as a mother. I need to be successful in the gym. I only
mm,
get one body and I'm going to take
mm,
care of it.
mm,
And I also feel like I have such amazing manifestation from doing the workouts for
mhm.
many reasons. First of all, you're like me. We have multiple companies, and
Yeah.
we have many clients who we absolutely love and
Mhm.
adore and want to support fully. I always say my
Mm.
success is my success. I have two little ones: piano, soccer, all the things. Okay,
I
I
don't
have
know how you do it, honestly, with the kids, girl. I'm
no,
taking
I
my
do
hat
though,
off.
and the thing is,
Yeah.
it's a lot. And
Mhm.
even though every single day I strive to be, self-disciplined, what happens is there's still a lot going on. There's a lot of
Yeah.
unfortunately, there's a lot of
Yeah.
organization that needs to happen. There's a lot, but what happens is when all this is going on, you don't hear it when your buns are burning so much. That's all you can think of. I get
Yeah.
out of my head and into my body. And as you
Mm.
were talking about, almost like the law of correspondence, as above,
Mhm.
so below, as
Mhm.
within, so without. So if you want to bring things from the mental realm down into the physical, you need to bring your energy from in your head into your body. And so
Yeah.
moving that energy and getting out of your head and giving yourself permission to be vulnerable and giving yourself permission to work harder. It's I don't think it's a coincidence that many of the successful women that I look up to are in extremely good shape because it takes a
Mhm.
serious type of discipline. So
Mhm.
manifestation, getting out of my head and realizing that again, how you do one thing is how you do everything. But creating that balance in my life is important. And
I
so,
absolutely agree. Yeah, I
and
agree with you. I think that in relationships, in your business, the way you treat yourself, everything, it just shows how you consistent in every single area of your life, and how are you showing up there. And again, it's showing up to yourself truthfully.
yeah,
So again, we are in this, everything is a mirror of us, every
absolutely.
single situation. So when I look at myself, obviously we slack, okay? And that's okay. here's another thing. This conversation was a lot about overachieving, being this, being that, da, 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 da. And it's okay to also take a break. It's okay also to have days when you're like, I'm just going to be lazy. I'm just going to be, I'm not going to wear underwear, and I'm going to eat pizza all day, and I'm going to skip my gym.
I don't work
It's
Fridays.
called
That's
balance.
what I'm doing.
It's called balance. So balance is also important. Right now, I just want everyone who's watching to, when we are saying all these things, it's not of like, oh, look at them doing all these things. It's more of like, all these things, they come from a space of love, but also learn to love yourself when you're not on 100. And that is where it's most difficult. I had this post that went viral on women helping women entrepreneurs in the group, and it was about, what do you do when you're not your best? How do you love yourself? How do you embrace yourself and nurture yourself, like a mother when you're bleeding, when you're on your period and you're just exhausted, your skin looks weird, and your body looks weird, or when you're pregnant and you're like, oh my god, my body is changing, or when someone is betraying you, or on a days when you just want to hide. How do you act in these days? Or when you have a difficult business situation, because let's talk about that. It's not all roses. I mean, we also have months when the financial part is like, or you have months when people are driving you insane and you just want to go and live in a forest for the rest of your life, but you don't do that. So it's
so
again,
funny.
it's again these, you know,
there's so many ha-has in the comments. So how funny you are.
Sometimes I just want to go out, take a walk, go to the nearest airport, and just go to the jungle and grow mangoes. But I don't do that, okay? I just take a break and you go. Here's the thing, this is again where your feminine side shows up as a powerful woman, and your masculinity also takes care, is when the masculine in you says, baby girl, it's okay. Go, lay, chill, take a bath, go and shower, go and masturbate, go and read a book, go and have your me time, go and go have a walk. You don't have to do the laundry. You don't have to do this. You just need to be with yourself and just be. And that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what people forget is that when you level up, the level gets harder.
Oh, yeah.
So I always joke around. I talk about Mario Brothers, so the video game, and the first time you play, it's like do 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 do, the whole level, and like you're like, what's that mushroom? I'm gonna touch that. Oh, the cute mushroom kills me. Who was supposed to know? You go through this level, and then what happens is you finally beat it. It takes 20, 30 tries, whatever. You finally get through the first level, and then you get to the next one. It's all of a sudden it's like do 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 do, right? You're on the next level, and you're like, woo! I made it to the next level. I'm so excited. This is so. Then all of a sudden you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I'm on the next level. Like, it took me 30 tries to get to the easier one, and now it's gonna be harder. But it's like once you start realizing that it becomes harder, it's this challenge. And again, it's like it's that drive that you need. And being saleswomen, again, it's like that we love that competition of pushing and striving for our best. But it's not easy. It's like once you make it, you don't ever actually make it. You always have something new. And if you don't have something new, that's when I get concerned, because you have to have something that's this desire that's pulling you. You have to have something that you're following. I think what's important for people to remember is that when, especially in business, you do the other things that other people don't do. And that's why you get to live a life that other people don't get to live. And it's important to celebrate people who are choosing to do those things and let them know. Everybody will tell you, we all start at the same place. You start at the same place and you take one step at a time. It's enjoying, like you said, the process of becoming. It's not all rainbows, butterflies, and Prince Charmings. I promise you it's not. It gets to better levels where you learn to focus on just the Prince Charmings and butterflies so you can let it out, because whatever you focus on, that's your reality. But it's important. I just wanted to have people hear from you, especially like, there are days where I'm off. I think that's so beautiful that you brought that up. Mostly I'm a killer. I'm focused, but I trained my brain to be that way through all my, stories and processes.
It's a training. It's a training.
Exactly.
I agree with you.
And that's honestly, the process that I went through and the process that you're sharing
Mhm.
here, that's what I love teaching women more than anything in spiritual success experience. It's like
Mhm.
every single day matters. And I have a choice and I have to decide and I can rewrite everything that I've been taught and I can align with her. And again, you call
Mm.
it the Empress. I love how your company is called, Empress Marketing. And for me, it's Inner Feminine Beast. So I
Mm.
think it was some really good, amazing talk here. We've had quite a group hanging out with us.
Yeah.
If you haven't said hi, you do. Thank you everyone for hanging out. Was there anything else you'd like to bring up that you feel called to talk about, that you feel really inspired to share? I'm sure everybody would love to hear it. And if not, I definitely want to make sure everybody knows how to follow
Mhm.
you, contact you.
Well, the only thing I wanted to wrap up, and it's very related to what you said, is mastering patience and just be careful when ego is speaking. It's okay to want more and be more and have more, but don't lose yourself in this desire thinking you're not enough. It's okay to want more, but you're enough. So you have to balance these two. And I believe we as entrepreneurs, as women, we always want more. We always want more. That is something that women always would want.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
men, when you hear men like, yeah, it's okay, it's good. We're like, I want more of my relationship. I want more of that. I want more of that. That's how we are. I wanted to say that it's okay, and I saw this post a couple of days ago. It's okay to find love when you're in your 40s. It's okay to start business when you're in your 50s. It's okay to start a business in your 60s. It's okay to get married in your 70s. So let's not turn life. Life is not even a game, because in the game, it means you need to compete. Life is a play, like in the theater. So let's enjoy life. We forget to enjoy life. And I want to end this to call all our sisters to feel more pleasure in everything that you do. Stop tiptoeing through life, going through it madly and rush, and you're just so caught up in your business, your kids, your husband, the problems. And we are living in crazy times with all this pandemic stories and everything, and travel, finances. Just slow down, because let me tell you something, and I don't want to end up on a sad note,
Yeah.
but I love a quote that Carol says, is like, we live on a borrowed time. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Make today the best, but at the same time, be grateful for what you have right now. Appreciate like little moments, like even let's take a moment to appreciate Cynthia's shadow. Like, I love it. I was looking at the whole day, small things. Oh girl, I love it. You need to tell me what you're putting on there. But small things like that, like have a walk. I started having walks every single morning as much as I can before my
Yeah.
workout, just to look at the movement of plants and water and how everything is breathing. And I want to call out everyone right now who is living life as if they're watching a movie, and instead of that, truthfully experiencing every moment. Like when you sit down and eat, enjoy every bite. When you are with your family, enjoy that. When you're with your clients, be present as much as possible, because at the end of the day, that's why you're here for. You're gonna wake up in another dimension. You'll be like, well, the 3D was really fast. What happened? I want to go back to the 3D. You don't want to come back.
Yeah, no, this is the hardest place for sure. I think, too, real quick, as like we said, as we're wrapping up, we could go on for hours,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think a lot of women are probably thinking, all of this sounds really good. I would
Mhm,
really like what they're talking about, and I would like to start feeling that way. How do I get started? And people,
mhm,
I want to know if you agree with me, because it's not as difficult as people think. It truly
mhm,
is just a decision. You
mm,
decide. You decide, I'm ready to start moving in this direction. And one step at a time, you do. You
mhm,
decide and you give yourself permission, permission
mm,
to fuck up, permission to play with your imagination, permission to
mhm,
play with curiosity, permission to allow yourself to love yourself. And
mm.
it all just starts with deciding. And a lot of us wait until the shit hits the fan and be like, oh God, now it's time. My mission
Yeah.
on earth is not to have women wait until they have to start doing this, but instead to
Yeah.
choose right now, to start seeing the possibilities, have the
Mhm,
courage to do something about it, actually take
mhm,
action, get it done.
mhm.
So I just wanted to, again, thank everybody who's listening today. Again, today was an invitation to rise up and to make a decision. to be her now, whether it's the Empress or the
Mm,
inner feminine beast. You have it within you. And
mhm.
Ayo and I, again, I'm so grateful to call you my new friends. I love having you in my life. Keep shining your light for
Same
sure.
way.
But at the same time, we are here to lead by example, and we
Mhm.
are here to show you what is possible, and we're not going to ever
Mm.
stop. Come to us if you need us, if you're interested. We're here to support you. We're here to help give you guidance. And definitely go read the book Pussy.
Yes,
You'll learn a lot. So,
do that.
where can everybody follow you? Where would you like them to kind of learn more about your services, especially with your marketing agency? And then also, we'll make sure to leave all the links here for everybody as well. And if you're listening to the podcast, in the description below.
Well, first of all, Cynthia, thank you so much for creating this container where we were ourselves 100%,
Yeah.
me and you, which is, again, I see you and I recognize you, and it's a pleasure to share this experience of life together. So thank you so much, and thank the cat gods for bringing us together. I'm truly grateful for that. And if someone wants to reach out, I suggest they mimic exactly what we did. Find me on Facebook,
Oh,
add me, and DM me, because I'm really, really cool. So let's just have a nice conversation. This is what I love about that space, is that you really can create a true connection with someone and giving a fuck about someone. So
yes.
you can find me on Facebook, send me a DM, send me a voice note. I will be my best self for you.
I love that. Well, thank you so much, ladies. Thank you for all the feedback. We're seeing that this was incredible. Thank you. I love this interview. All these wonderful things. Wonderful. Thank you. Ladies,
Thank you,
until
ladies.
next time, acknowledge it, embrace it, see it through. Bye, everyone.